Hello and welcome to Bringing Education Home. I'm Herb.
And I'm Christina. And together we bring you experts and ideas to help grow healthy, happy, successful families that are both inside.
And outside the box. If you like the show, be sure to follow Christina on Facebook.
And please leave us a like review on your favorite podcast platform.
Today I have the pleasure of introducing Steve Brossman. Steve is a 9-time Amazon best-selling author in marketing and sales with over 20 years TV and video experience, including hosting his own network TV show, and has been an executive producer for Warner Brothers. He has created several 6- and 7-figure multinational businesses of his own. Steve has spoken live in 15 countries and trained over 65,000 entrepreneurs, professionals, and business owners to stand out in their market and sell themselves for more without selling their soul. Thank you, Steve, for being here today. I'm bringing education home. It sounds like this might not necessarily be a great match, but in talking a little bit ahead of time, it's like, wow, there really is quite a lot of common ground here. So thank you for being on our show today. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Mate, I'll say mates, plural, both of you. Look, it's going to be a lot of fun. And when we started talking, you said, there are different things that I have done and do, but as you started peeling back some of the banana peel or the onion rings, there's going to be some cool stuff that we're going to talk about today, particularly for the parents out there. And the interesting thing was that the TV show that I wrote, hosted, and produced was a kids' TV show. So most of my 15 years in television was in kids' TV and kids' activities programs. So I'm sure we can find some really cool stuff there.
Yeah, and we also talked about how you were a stay-at-home dad. As an entrepreneur, you were at home with your children, and so there's that aspect of it too, because we do a lot with parents who are going to homeschool their children and are there with their children all of the day, and some who do still need to keep sending their children to school. So being home with your children during the daytime and being there for them as an entrepreneur parent is something that we really like to talk to about, because again, one of our focus is entrepreneurs have the best opportunity to actually homeschool their children and take control of their children's education, because entrepreneurs learn differently. Entrepreneurs know that education doesn't end at 18 years old when you graduate from school. It's a continuously lifelong process. And so part of what we talk about is putting the entrepreneurial model in front of the children in how they learn.
That's brilliant, because they do learn. And I was saying earlier that as my son was old enough to understand, I told him that I'm a 24/7 dad. I'm a 24/7 entrepreneur. There are going to be some days that I'm working. There are going to be some nights that I'm working. But I had the ability never to miss any of his activities at school, never to miss any of his sporting activities, always to be there, potentially as the coach, as assistant coach, and to be there on call. But they do learn. And at one stage, my wife and I were traveling and speaking and running workshops, etc. And our son would come with us, and we'd combine it with holidays, and he could see that, well, there was work and there was play. And because we're working in different places, we got to see different places. And we remember one workshop that it was a one-day workshop, and Pam and I were tag teaming on taking Hunter out, and he was probably only about 5 or 6. And there was a section towards the end that both of us had to be there at once. So he was sitting at the back, being nice and quiet, playing with his Lego. And we finished, and it was a speak to sell workshop where we had to obviously start processing forms, etc. And we kept looking around, keeping an eye on Hunter. Then all of a sudden he'd gone missing. Where is he? Where is he? He was at the door thanking people for coming.
Oh my gosh, awesome.
I was like, he's a little 6-year-old kid. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. And when he was 11, he went to one of his mates' birthday parties. And it was a Taekwondo martial arts party. And at the end of it, the guy was giving out flyers. And when he came home, I said, "How was the party?" "Oh, lots of fun things. We did this, we did this, we did this." And he was giving out flyers at the end. He said, "That was upselling, wasn't it?"
Exactly.
One of the myths that we break about people who are hesitant to homeschool is that the children won't get proper socialization. But we talk about how children of entrepreneurs who go to these events are like so much more able to talk to adults, people, because they see that, you know, there's so much more to it. So that socialization aspect of working with entrepreneur parents, it's amazing how well adapted children can get to be inside of that kind of environment, to the point where they just voluntarily go to a door and are talking to all the adults and thanking them for showing up, and just how important a life skill that actually is.
Yeah, well, he had the best of both worlds. He was traditionally schooled, and he got some damn good life skills. He'd been around the world twice by the time he'd got to high school, and all of those sorts of things as well. And he could see how we did things. And he's now my business partner. He's only 20. He's not working for me. He's my business partner, and he's done really well. He did go to school. He went to high school. And interesting, we got to year 10, which was around about the 15, 16. And the last 2 years they picked their subjects of where they wanted to go in life. And you know, we were working with him. It's like, well, what do you want to do? What do you want to be when you grow up? What you know, so how do you pick your subjects? And I was probably putting a little bit of pressure on, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And all the way through my high school, I wanted to get into science, chemistry, be an industrial chemist, metallurgist, or whatever. I left school and became a professional athlete. and then did a couple of other things in between. And I'm thinking, there was nothing in high school I used that I really studied for that got me to where I was. I just went back. I apologized. I said, "Mate, I'm sorry. Don't pick what you think you're going to be and what you're going to need when you grow up. What the hell are you going to enjoy over the next 2 years to get through high school? Because the learning starts when you leave." And he got about 6 months into the next year, and we realized that school wasn't for him. He said, "Well, you know," I said, "Well, if you want to find a job, you can go and you can leave." And I knew that he would learn anything he needed to learn after he left. So he got one, artificial turf laying. It was a laboring type of job. He worked really well. There, he started getting a few injuries and he left. But that taught him two very good things. I like having money, and I don't want to be a laborer. He then went into retail. He then went into real estate and got his license like that. He said, "If high school had been anything like this, I'd have aced it." He got his real estate license in record time. He's smart. But then he got into sales, did really well there. He started working with me a while ago, just doing video editing and stuff. And yeah, Dad was a bastard boss. He kept on complaining to Mum, "Dad's getting me to do this." And then when he got into these others and he came back, he said, "You know what? Working with Dad wasn't so bad after all." And then when I pulled him in as a partner and say, "Okay, you've learned all of these new things now. You know what it's like in the big wide world. Building the entrepreneurial business can be a lot of fun." And he's just learning and studying, and our business is just exploding. But it's a journey that as a parent, you've got to be able to let them go through, but still be able to guide them.
Now, a few words about vibrant family education.
How many entrepreneurs and business owners start out on this journey to make a better life for their family, only to find that it took so much more time and effort than they were expecting, that they had even less time for their family? I know I did.
At Vibrant Family Education, we want to help you reach your family goals while you're still building towards your business goals. We do this by bringing you the third leg of the stool to keep your family upright, family education development.
By bringing your children's education home, you will be able to model your work ethic and family values as you overcome obstacles and challenges to build your business. Instead of learning facts to pass tests, your children can be watching and seeing the dedication it takes to build your business and the legacy you want to create for their future. They will be able to witness the struggles and joys, the wins and the losses, and learn from you how to persevere and grow in life.
Instead of waiting until you get successful to spend more time with your family, start with the end goal in mind and bring your family home. Instead of trying to repair your family after you reach success, let us help you start achieving your family goals from the outset. Learn to be successful with your family now, and no matter what happens in the future, they will be better prepared for life, especially after watching how you cared for and built not only a business, but a healthy, happy, and successful family.
We offer a wide range of educational services, including how to easily get started with homeschooling. Come visit us at vibrantfamilyeducation.com and let us show you how. And now, back to our guest. So something you said in there has been sticking with me, and I wanted to bring it back. And you said, I realized that I didn't use anything that I learned in high school, all of these things that I wanted to, like I wanted chemistry, I wanted that, reading your bio, there's none of that in there. And then you said, I realized that when my kid got out of school, that's when he's really going to start learning.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
that little, now, if you can take that just a little bit back further so you can get that attitude while they're in school and start focusing on those things, like you said, I think you said he left school early and got a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing learning opportunities there. So that is a really important thing for kind of our parents to hear is that learning happens not necessarily at school, but in life and around life. And if you can get your children to understand and love learning,
yes,
not school, because school and learning are two completely different things. But when you get your children into that understanding of that they can learn and follow their passions, that's when learning really, really takes off. And for your son, it happened in his late teens. That's amazing.
Yeah, and my sister's kids were totally homeschooled. Absolutely. And they've gone down two different paths.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was just a numbers freak.
Yeah.
He was very, very intelligent. I think when he was about 10 or 11, we're up at Christmas time, and she said, pick a date somewhere between June and now. I said, what? She said, just pick a date.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, well, July the 10th. And his name was Sefton. Say, Seffy, July the 10th. He said, yeah, that was a Wednesday. That was this day. Yeah, we had so-and-so around that day. That was a fun day. Okay. September 30th. Oh, yeah, Uncle so-and-so came and visited that day. That was a Monday. That was a really good day. I really enjoyed that.
Wow.
I was like, what? And it was like, yeah, and then numbers, etc. And then when they were young, she thought, well, I better go back and teach them the traditional maths. It was like the X, all those sorts of things. And he lost it. He just lost, couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said, well, okay, let's go on a trip. You've got to calculate how far we've got to go. You've got to calculate the mileage and how many miles per gallon. You've got to calculate all of this. Did it in his head. Not a problem. That was back to life skills and life instead of here are the multiplication tables and here are all of these sorts of things. So they would go on a trip. They would say, okay, we're going to visit all the opal mines and gold mines, and we're going to be doing our English, and you've got to write about the mines that we're going to. We're going to do the maths, and you've got to calculate all the stuff, and we're going to do the geography and geology, and all of those sorts of things were just done on the trips. Mm-hmm. So he started online university at the age of 16, having never been to school a day in his life. And his brother was very more manual. But then he developed on their Italian trips a taste for and a passion for, I just forgot the ice cream now. It's the, oh, anyhow, he's now got a business, his own business, making, I forgot it. What's the Italian ice cream?
Oh, wow, I had the name. It's then just
What?
the place in Seaside where we go and get the ice cream that
Gelato.
you like.
Yeah.
That's not ice
He
cream.
now has,
Gelato?
Gelato.
Yeah, he has his own gelato business,
Okay.
and he does wholesaling and does all of those sorts of things. So by letting them find their path, they then find their passion. And then, Sefton is now riding across the Andes in South America, and he'll stop for a week, pick up some online coding for a week to pay for the next couple of months and cycle off.
Awesome.
He's done Europe. He's going back, and he just, he'll stop for a week somewhere, pick up some coding work and keep cycling.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's amazing. That's what we hope our parents get to. We work with some of the younger children right now, but that's one of the things that we talk about is it opens up the children to life in a different way than just sending them through.
Yeah. Exactly. So tell us a little bit more about what you and your son are doing together now as your business, because we'd love to make sure that the audience also knows a little bit about, how you ended up here in Podpalooza with us, especially Ben, and how this interview got all set up. What do you do now?
Yeah, it's great. My last 10 or 15 years has really been about helping people create their unique authority positioning, how they can communicate it, more importantly, how they can sell. I've got books out on how to sell yourself without selling your soul. But when COVID hit, the Australian economy tanked pretty well, as did many. And America is a lot bigger than Australia, a lot. So I decided, basically Christmas time in January 21, I decided to move a lot of my business to America via Zoom. And I went to one networking event and got introduced to a couple of people who had podcasts, and then more and more and more, and took the American business from 0 to 6 figures as a podcast guest in just 10 months.
Wow.
And I was monetizing my guesting and collaborations, etc. And I thought everybody did. I thought, okay, this is cool. And so I just kept on year after year. I was generating over 6 figures just as a guest and all of that. And then one of my clients in my authority sales business said, "Oh, can you help me with my podcast guesting?" I said, "Sure." She said, "I've been paying to get on 2 to 3 per week, and I haven't got a client in 3 months." I said, "What? Really?" And then I went and looked what everybody else was doing, and no one was really monetizing being a guest. I said, "Oh, here's what I did." And within 2 weeks, she got 2 high-level clients. I thought, maybe other people need to learn this. So for the last 14 months, I've been helping people that are generally podcast guests being able to get on and monetize, not sell from the actual podcast itself, be pushy or salesy, but how they can really collaborate with the hosts, how they can really excite the audience to want to work with them.
Yeah.
And, I've been working with the owners of Podpalooza and Speakers Playhouse, and we've been doing lots of great training and joint ventures together. And so they've said, "Well, hey, listen, can you come and share what it is you do?" Because there are a lot of people out there who are podcast guests that don't actually drive any sort of monetary value from it. So that's
We can relate to that at the moment.
Yeah. So that's basically how I've ended here and started chatting with you guys.
Excellent. Yeah. So if we have any of our families out there who are interested in podcasting, if we have any families out there who have a unique story that they want to share on podcasts that might inspire other families, there's ways that can be connected and working through all of that.
Absolutely. Look, if anybody finds any interest in what I've said today, please reach out. The easiest way is just very simple. It's funny to call it old school email these days, but email is very simple. Steve@stevebrossman.com. They can just go to the website, which is just as simple, stevebrossman.com. There's a range of different things there. And yeah, we'd certainly love to chat. And if there's anything that I could help them with, I will certainly go to do that.
Excellent. That is perfect. And that's what I was going to ask you is like, if there's somebody looking at this podcast world and some of the things that you said that really caught their attention, how they could get a hold of you. And you just said that. So, and we will also put that down in the show notes down below so they can get a hold of you. So as we're kind of wrapping up, we're on a shorter time frame today. I just wanted to thank you because, sometimes these unexpected get-togethers are some of the absolute best. I heard so many nuggets of wisdom that you dropped in our show for our audience of how to really inspire your children, connect with your children, let them explore and support them along the way. So thank you for all of those bits of wisdom that you shared.
No, you're most welcome. And again, look, thank you for the work that you're doing, helping parents out there and see them that there is an alternative. And I know that there are some through what they have to do, go one direction, but if they can be more flexible, and these days, there are the hybrid work from home work, etc. Don't just think of it's an opportunity for you to be able to monitor your work life. See how you can actually take advantage of those situations and integrate it into your family life. And that's, the biggest thing that I've really developed right from the beginning is, it's not work-life balance, it's work-life integration these days. You can.
And I love it. I love it that you said that you were 100% dad, that you're all in. And so many people kind of negotiate that out or separate that out, but it's like, no, 100% dad in this. And so that's something that's really important for a lot of parents to understand.
Yeah. And the kids do appreciate it. And I saw many, many years ago is, how do kids spell love? T-I-M-E.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's what you give.
Thank you. All right, audience, that is it for now. Hopefully you found some nuggets. I know I found some inspiration in this episode. Thank you again, Steve, and audience. We will talk to you later, and bye for now.
Bye for now.
Hello, and welcome to Bringing Education Home. I'm Herb.
And I'm Christina. And together we bring you experts